Most seniors believe that once they crawl into bed at night, their body gets to take a break. After all, you've been on your feet, walking, cooking, doing chores, or maybe just sitting in your chair watching television all day. So when you close your eyes, you assume your heart gets to rest too. But here's the surprising truth. Your heart never sleeps. Even while you drift into dreams, it works non-stop, pushing blood to every corner of your body. And that means the choices you make right before bed, the way you lie down, the food you eat, the things you ignore, can quietly strain your heart without you even noticing. Think about this. You probably know someone who seemed perfectly fine during the day, but then had heart trouble in the middle of the night. Many seniors pass away in their sleep not because of some sudden mystery, but because bedtime habits slowly chipped away at their heart's strength for years. The danger isn't always dramatic. It's silent. A small decision, like grabbing a late-night snack or ignoring heavy snoring, may not seem like much. But repeated night after night, it adds up. Imagine piling a small rock on top of your heart each evening. At first, it feels like nothing. After months or years, the weight becomes too heavy to carry. Here's the kicker. Most people focus on daytime health, walking, eating vegetables, taking vitamins. And yes, those are important, but the hours before and during your sleep are just as critical, because your body is supposed to repair itself while you rest. If you keep tossing obstacles at your heart during the night, you rob it of that chance. Instead of healing, it struggles. Instead of recovering, it weakens. And sadly, the signals are easy to miss. A little extra fatigue in the morning, a bit more breathlessness when climbing stairs. You chalk it up to just getting older, but often it's not age. It's the way you're treating your heart after sunset. Now let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you thought about your heart as you got ready for bed? Probably never. You might brush your teeth, change into pajamas, set your alarm, and that's it. Yet your bedtime routine could be the difference between a calm, steady heartbeat and one that struggles all night long. And here's where it gets serious. Seniors are already at higher risk for heart problems. The heart muscle is older, the arteries are stiffer, and the body is less forgiving of mistakes. So while a teenager can eat pizza at midnight and sleep on the couch with no trouble, those same habits can quietly push your heart closer to danger after 60. I know this might sound frightening, but here's the good news. Awareness is the first step to protection. The moment you realize your heart is still working hard at night, you can start making changes that allow it to truly rest. Small shifts in habit can mean less strain, lower risk, and more peaceful nights. You don't need expensive equipment, complicated medical words, or a special doctor's degree to understand it. You just need to pay attention to the hidden ways you may be hurting your heart when you thought you were doing nothing at all. In this video, I'll walk you through 7 common bedtime habits that quietly damage a senior's heart. Habits so ordinary that you may not even notice them. We'll talk about sleeping positions, heavy meals, snoring, dehydration, sleep pills, late-night screens, and missing wind-down rituals. Each one has a surprising link to your heart's health. And by the end, you'll know exactly what to change so your heart can finally get the rest it deserves. So don't click away. Because if you're over 60, this may be the most important bedtime conversation you've had in your entire life. Your heart is still beating for you every second. The least you can do is give it a fighting chance through the night. Let's begin with something you probably never think about. The way you position yourself in bed. Most people just flop down in whatever way feels comfortable at the moment. But the truth is, not all sleeping positions are created equal when it comes to your heart. For seniors, especially those with weaker circulation or any history of heart issues, sleeping flat on your stomach can be surprisingly stressful. Picture it. When you lie face down, your chest is pressed against the mattress. Your lungs don't expand as easily, which means your heart has to work harder just to get enough oxygen moving through your blood. For a younger body, this may not matter. But after 60, your heart no longer has the same spare energy it once did. What feels like a harmless position may quietly be putting pressure on your heart all night long. Even lying flat on your back can be tricky for some seniors. If you have sleep apnea or if you snore heavily, this position makes the throat more likely to close up. That leads to repeated pauses in breathing, and every pause is like asking your heart to sprint up a hill in the middle of the night. The oxygen drops, the heart panics, and it keeps jolting itself awake. The tragedy is, many people don't even realize this is happening. They simply wake up exhausted without knowing their heart just ran a marathon while they slept. Now, which position helps most seniors? For many, lying on the left side is kinder to the heart. It reduces pressure on the main vein that returns blood from the body to the heart, making circulation easier. Of course, comfort matters too, and everyone's body is different. But the lesson is simple. Don't ignore the way you sleep. It's not just about waking up without back pain. It's about giving your heart the space to breathe easy through the night. Now let's talk about another bedtime mistake: eating heavy meals right before bed. We all know how tempting it is. Maybe you had a light dinner at 6 p.m. and by 9:30 or 10, your stomach is grumbling. So you sneak into the kitchen for leftovers, or maybe you reach for something comforting like a sandwich, noodles, or even fried snacks. It feels harmless. After all, you'll sleep it off, right? But here's what actually happens. When you eat a heavy meal, your stomach needs lots of blood to digest it. That means your heart has to pump harder and faster to send extra circulation to your gut. Instead of winding down for the night, your heart is suddenly forced into overtime. And while you may not feel it directly, this extra workload means your heart doesn't get the calm, steady rhythm it deserves. On top of that, lying down soon after eating makes digestion even tougher. Acid reflux, bloating, or discomfort can sneak in, but more importantly, your heart feels the pressure. Studies show that late-night heavy meals increase the risk of heartburn and even nighttime spikes in blood pressure. Seniors with a history of heart disease or diabetes are especially vulnerable. Here's a simple picture. Your body is like a factory. At night, most workers clock out, leaving only a small night shift to keep things running smoothly. But when you drop a huge meal into your stomach, it's like demanding the entire factory staff come back for an emergency shift. The lights flip on, machines roar back to life, and your heart, the manager, has to hustle around making sure everyone gets what they need. It's exhausting. The solution isn't complicated. If you must eat close to bedtime, keep it light. Think of something small like a banana, a handful of nuts, or a slice of toast with peanut butter. These calm foods give you just enough to feel satisfied without dragging your heart into heavy overtime. And if you know you're prone to nighttime hunger, plan a slightly later dinner or include more protein and fiber to keep you fuller longer. So far, we've looked at two habits that might seem innocent: the way you sleep and what you eat at night. But both of these can quietly chip away at your heart's strength if repeated daily. The good news is, they're also among the easiest habits to change. Simply adjusting your sleeping position or skipping that late-night heavy meal could give your heart the peaceful rest it's been begging for. Let's move to the next two bedtime habits that may seem minor but can slowly drain your heart's strength: ignoring snoring and not drinking enough water before bed. First, let's talk about snoring. Many seniors laugh about it or dismiss it as just noise. You might have heard your spouse complain that you sound like a tractor at night, and you shrug it off. But here's the truth. Heavy snoring is not just a nuisance, it's often a warning sign. Snoring happens when the airway narrows or collapses during sleep. For some people, this leads to pauses in breathing, a condition called sleep apnea. Every time the airway closes, your oxygen level dips and your heart panics. It races, struggles, and jolts your body awake just enough to breathe again. This cycle can happen dozens, even hundreds of times a night without you realizing it. And here's the scary part. Every pause is like asking your heart to fight for survival. Over time, that constant stress raises blood pressure, increases the risk of arrhythmias, irregular beats, and adds enormous strain to a heart that's already working hard after 60. Many seniors who wake up feeling exhausted or needing naps during the day are actually dealing with untreated sleep apnea, silently damaging their heart every single night. So, if you or your partner snore heavily, don't ignore it. Don't chalk it up to just old age. It's your body sending an alarm. Talk to your doctor, consider a sleep study, or at the very least, adjust your sleeping position and keep your weight in check. Even simple changes like raising the head of your bed can help reduce the strain. Remember, ignoring snoring doesn't just keep your spouse awake, it keeps your heart in danger. Now, let's move to another silent habit, not drinking enough water before bed. Many seniors avoid water at night because they're afraid of waking up to use the bathroom. It feels inconvenient to get out of bed in the dark, especially if you worry about falls. So the instinct is to stop drinking water after dinner. But this habit can backfire in ways most people never realize. When you don't drink enough water, your blood becomes thicker overnight. Think of it like syrup instead of juice. Your heart has to pump this thicker blood through your arteries, which means more effort, more strain, and higher risk of clots forming. And guess when most heart attacks and strokes happen? That's right, early in the morning, after a long night of dehydration. Your body still loses water as you sleep, through breathing, sweating, and simple metabolism. If you don't top off your fluids before bed, your heart wakes up in the worst possible condition. Dry, thick blood flowing through stiff morning arteries. For a senior heart, that's a dangerous combination. Of course, you don't need to drink a big glass that sends you running to the bathroom 3 times at night. A small glass of water, even half a cup, can make a world of difference. It keeps your blood fluid, eases the workload on your heart, and lowers the risk of those scary early morning emergencies. If you truly struggle with nighttime trips, keep the water earlier in the evening, but don't go to bed bone dry. So, think about it. Snoring and dehydration. 2 problems most people shrug off. One sounds like a joke, the other feels like a small inconvenience. But both can quietly make your heart's job harder than it should be. And the heart never complains loudly, until one day, it does. By paying attention to these small details, you give your heart exactly what it needs. Oxygen to breathe easily and blood that flows smoothly. Simple fixes, powerful results. Now let's talk about something many seniors quietly depend on but rarely question: sleep pills. It's no secret that as we age, sleep gets trickier. You may find yourself lying awake at midnight staring at the ceiling or waking up at 3 a.m. with no hope of falling back asleep. Out of frustration, many seniors reach for a pill, sometimes prescribed, sometimes over the counter. It seems like a quick fix: swallow it, drift off, problem solved. But here's the catch. Using sleep pills the wrong way can quietly harm your heart. Why? Because most sleep medications don't just affect your brain. They also slow down your body. Many of them relax muscles, lower blood pressure, and change breathing patterns. For a younger person, this may not matter. But for a senior heart already working hard, that extra slowdown can push things into dangerous territory. If you snore or have sleep apnea, sleep pills can make the pauses in breathing worse, forcing your heart to struggle through longer periods without enough oxygen. That's like tying a weight to a runner's ankles and then asking them to sprint. And here's another problem. Seniors often mix sleep pills with other medications, blood pressure tablets, diabetes drugs, even herbal supplements. These combinations can create side effects that nobody expects. Dizziness, irregular heartbeat, or drops in blood pressure that leave you feeling faint in the middle of the night. And a fainting spell for someone over 60 isn't just inconvenient. It can mean broken bones, hospital stays, or worse. Even if the pill seems to work, the sleep it provides isn't always the deep, healing rest your heart needs. Many sleep medications produce a kind of artificial sleep. You may stay unconscious for hours, but your body doesn't cycle through the natural stages of rest. That means your heart never gets the true recovery it deserves. You wake up groggy, your memory feels foggy, and your heart is just as tired as it was the night before. Now, does that mean all sleep pills are bad? Not necessarily. Used occasionally under a doctor's careful watch, they can be helpful. The real danger comes when they're used the wrong way. Too often, in too high a dose, or without considering the side effects on the heart. Many seniors keep a bottle by the bedside and pop one almost every night without telling their doctor. That quiet habit can slowly build into dependency, robbing the heart of natural rhythms. So what's the alternative? Focus on natural sleep habits that protect your heart. Create a bedtime routine that signals to your body it's time to rest. Dim the lights, turn off screens, and avoid caffeine late in the day. Gentle stretches, deep breathing, or listening to calming music can do more for your heart than a pill ever could. If you absolutely need medication, talk to your doctor about the safest options for your age and health history. Never just grab something off the shelf because a friend swore by it. Your heart deserves better than trial and error experiments. Think of your heart as a night worker already putting in overtime. Giving it a pill that messes with breathing and rhythm is like handing it the wrong set of tools for the job. Instead of helping, you're making the work harder. The goal isn't just to sleep through the night. It's to wake up with a heart that feels lighter, not heavier. The bottom line, don't treat sleep pills as candy. Treat them as serious tools that need careful handling. Your heart will thank you for choosing rest that comes naturally, not from a bottle. Now let's shine a light on a habit almost every senior has picked up in today's world, sometimes literally shining a light straight into their eyes. Late night screen time. Picture this. You finish dinner, tidy up the kitchen, and finally sink into your favorite chair. The TV remote is right there, or maybe your tablet, or even your phone. You tell yourself, just one show, just a few minutes scrolling. Suddenly, it's 11:30 at night. Your eyes are wide open, and your heart is far from calm. Here's the problem. Screens, whether television, smartphone, or computer, give off what's called blue light. This light tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. Instead of winding down, your body keeps pumping out stress hormones like cortisol, keeping your heart rate higher than it should be before sleep. Your brain is alert, your nervous system is buzzing, and your poor heart is caught in the middle, trying to slow down while the rest of your body says, "Stay awake." For seniors, this is especially dangerous. Your heart craves routine. It likes a steady bedtime, a predictable pattern where it can slow its rhythm and prepare for repair. But when you're up late watching intense news programs or dramatic shows, your body releases adrenaline. That's the same chemical that makes your heart race during stress. Think about it. Your heart doesn't know the difference between a scary headline on TV and a real-life emergency. To your body, it's all stress. And stress at night means higher blood pressure, irregular beats, and restless sleep. Even if you do fall asleep after a night of screen time, the quality of your rest suffers. Your body misses out on deep sleep cycles where your heart normally gets its best chance to recharge. Instead, you toss and turn, wake up often, or drift into shallow sleep. You might not remember the details, but you'll feel it in the morning. Heavier eyelids, sluggish steps, and a heart that's still carrying the stress from last night. And let's not forget the sneaky part. Staying up too late shortens your total sleep time. Seniors often say, "Oh, I only need 5 or 6 hours now." But the truth is, your heart still needs those 7 or 8 hours of quality rest to function well. Cutting that short, night after night, piles up like debt. And unlike money, you can't just pay it back later. The heart remembers every lost hour. So what can you do? First, set a screen curfew. Decide on a time, maybe 9 p.m., when all the glowing devices get turned off. Replace them with gentler routines, reading a physical book, listening to soft music, or doing light stretches. If you really can't give up screens, try using blue light filters or special glasses that block some of the damage. But remember, it's not just the light, it's also the content. Scrolling through stressful news or watching violent shows is like handing your heart a double shot of caffeine right before bed. Instead, think of your evening as a gift to your heart. The calmer you make those last 2 hours, the easier your heart can slip into a peaceful rhythm. You don't need perfection. Even small changes, like swapping late-night news for calming music, can lower your nighttime blood pressure and let your heart rest the way it should. So, the next time you feel tempted to just watch one more episode, ask yourself, is it worth the strain on my heart? Because while the screen may go dark when you finally switch it off, your heart has been glowing red with effort the whole time. There's one more bedtime habit that too many seniors overlook, and it may be the most underestimated of them all: skipping the wind down ritual. Think of your body like an old clock. It doesn't just stop ticking when you set it down. It needs a gentle turn of the key to wind it, so it can run smoothly through the night. Your heart works the same way. If you go from watching TV or fussing in the kitchen straight to bed, your body doesn't get the signal that it's time to slow down. Instead of gliding into restful sleep, your heart drags the stress of the day into your pillow. Skipping a wind-down routine is like slamming on the brakes of a car while still speeding down the highway. Your heart tries to slam on the brakes too, but it can't stop instantly. The result? A racing peen, shallow breathing, and a heart that never fully settles into its nighttime rhythm. A simple wind-down ritual doesn't have to be complicated. It can be as easy as dimming the lights an hour before bed, turning off screens, sipping a warm caffeine-free tea, or practicing a few deep breaths. These small acts send a clear message to your nervous system. It's safe, it's quiet, it's time to rest. Your blood pressure drops, your heart rate steadies, and your body starts repairing itself the way it was designed to do. Many seniors dismiss rituals as silly or unnecessary, but science shows otherwise. People who practice calming bedtime routines tend to have lower nighttime blood pressure, steadier heartbeats, and better quality sleep. And better sleep is one of the greatest gifts you can give your heart. After all, your heart isn't just working during the day. It pumps over 100,000 times in a single day, and it doesn't stop when you lie down. That's why creating an environment where it can work with less stress is so important. Now let's bring everything together. We've uncovered 7 common bedtime habits that can quietly damage a senior's heart. 1. Sleeping in the wrong position. 2. Eating heavy meals late at night. 3. Ignoring snoring. 4. Not drinking enough water before bed. 5. Taking sleep pills the wrong way. 6. Staying up too late with screens. 7. Skipping the wind-down ritual. Individually, each one may not seem dangerous, but stacked together, night after night, they add up. And unlike other parts of the body, your heart doesn't get breaks. It can't call in sick. It keeps beating for you every moment of every day. So here's the challenge. Don't let bedtime be the enemy. Turn it into an ally. Pay attention to your position. Keep your late-night meals light. Don't ignore snoring. Sip a little water. Be cautious with pills. Shut down screens earlier, and give yourself that gentle wind down. These small shifts may seem ordinary, but they can protect your heart in extraordinary ways. Imagine yourself 6 months from now. You wake up feeling lighter, your mornings are calmer, your steps stronger. You feel more rested, not because you added new pills or gadgets, but because you finally gave your heart what it always needed: true rest at night. That's not just good health, that's freedom. So as you prepare for bed tonight, ask yourself, what little choice can I make right now to give my heart a break? Then take that step, because every heartbeat matters, especially the ones that carry you peacefully through the night.